we started in 2004. Obviously, I started by myself and another guy, uh, and we started trying to do our things, probably like any other architect, right? But we started with the idea of having a small office uh, with good clients, and probably that's a philosophy that we already have. We don't have a lot of clients. We got good clients, and I always try to work with the same clients in different kind of projects, because like Mies van der Rohe once says, it's behind a great project there's a great client, and and I think that that's how it started, with obviously small uh, projects, but with huge clients, and the idea was to climb with these huge clients, I think. The approach to the project, I think that it's not always the same. Obviously, we approach uh, probably with the same philosophy all the time, but it's never the same real approach, because we work on very different fields. We work from the private sector to the public sector, and then obviously the approach is different. But I think that we get two pillars, or two very important ways of the approaching. And the first one is the site, and the second one is the people of the site. And obviously, when you're working on a private project for a house, for example, the site for me is everything, and then the people who's going to live there is the second most important thing. But if I'm working on a public project like a transit-oriented development, a subway station, again, people is the most important thing, and then the site. So I can never approach it the same way, because I got these two different roles. But I can say that our approach is people and the site. At the end of the day, I think that architecture it's just a process between people and places. I don't consider my work as the artist's work. I think that I'm more like a technician trying to solve uh, relationships between, again, people and sites. I think that my first approach needs to be with the site, uh, to understand the situation, uh, the the topography. I love to work with the topography, and with the idea that sometimes just the gesture of working with the topography, it's harder, not harder, it's got a greater impact than architecture. Sometimes the gestures of positive and negative in the topography can create greater things. Obviously, the relationship with the whole context, the climate, vegetation, views. Those are my first influence when I work on a project, and that's obviously thinking about a project that is on a place like that. But on the other part, when I am on a city, and we're working with the public sector, again, my first approach with the site, with the connection, with uh, with all the parts involved in project, I think that that's my first influence. And gathering all that information that you watch on a site, I think that I started creating a script like in a movie that is gonna create the place for a person, for a family, for a community. And I think that that approach of of a canvas involving all that things and then the people is the first draft to starting imagine things. You know, I don't know if I'm being clear. I think that that's the way that we approach sites, and with all that information we confront people to intelligent conversations. I hate to talk about things that I like or my clients like. I prefer to talk about things that the site or the people needs. How do you impact on the site, and how the site impact on the people? When I met a client, or a client find me or look for me, uh, I always start trying to understand their their needs, talking with them on a very friendly, not a cold conversation. And I asked them for one thing. I after the first meeting, I tell them, let's split in two, and I will visit the place. I will understand the place by myself with my team, and on the other side, you will give me like a diary of how do you live, or how do you pretend to live. Uh, don't think about anything else, just what you want, what you like. And then we take probably a few weeks or a month gathering information by my side and gathering information by their side. And the second meeting, like I was saying, it's to understand what they want, what they need, and what the site can do for them uh, in all the context. So obviously the clients are uh, a very important part of the project, and the site is the other one. So I put all the technical information of the site on the table, like I was saying, to avoid uh, a confrontation between my perspective and the client perspective. I always like to make these rational or uh, contextual conversations with the client. So with those two process, we can start with the design of the house. And obviously, all the time I'm having good results because I'm mixing the site with the family, uh, and I'm taking my person as an architect aside the process, you know. But because again, I think that architecture, it's not about architects; it's about people and places. So that's how we start with the client. Obviously, that's the process, or the very simple process. If we are talking about a house, we do the same with a huge client that is trying to create a subway station, and it's obviously very difficult because we need to gather information of several people that are on the site, and we are taking considerations about a client that it's all, again, a lot of people on a company or authorities. But that's the main approach.